अरहंत सिद्ध सूर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाय स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर जोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So today we are going to study supreme renunciation, त्याग धर्म, उत्तम त्याग. Okay, a very long essay written by Dr. Bharil ji on Uttam Tyag. The main thing to understand in this is there is a difference between Tyag and Dan. Tyag is renunciation and Dan is charity, gift, donation. Most of the case it is used as donation. In some cases it is used as charity also, and in some places it is used as gift also. Gift and donation both are quite apt, and for tyag it is only renunciation. So the main topic for today is what is the difference between renunciation and donation. So the whole essay is about that only, what is the difference between tyag and dan. So first we will see the definition of renunciation, supreme renunciation. Then we will see the definition of donation, and then we will have a comparative study. Then we will see both of, we'll compare each other, dan and tyag, and then we will move on to the explanation. It's a very long explanation, and there is nothing to explain. It's all very simple. You have to just read it through. So whatever we are able to cover here, we'll cover. Rest you have to complete it at home. But I think we'll be covering most of the important points. So we begin with what is supreme renunciation, the definition. Okay. Last paragraph of page number 123. I'll make you co-host. No, I have to share it. Darshit, you have the soft copy?
No, sorry, I'm actually using my soft copy on a computer, not on my tablet. And I'm using the tablet for the screen here.
Okay.
Sorry.
And Aditi ji, what about you? You have a soft copy? So I'll make you a co-host.
Sure, I'll be the co-host. I can show it.
Okay, I'll make you co-host then.
But I will not be able to edit it because it is a PDF format. So I won't be able to write the first point, second point.
Okay. So
would that be okay?
Yeah, yeah. For me, I'm okay. But the other students, they will mark on their textbook, or they will go through the recording once again if they want to mark. But there are not many markings in this one. So I don't think they will require that. So I made you the co-host, okay? Yes. Page 123. This is 125. Yeah. So we are starting from the last paragraph, the definition of supreme renunciation. Acharya Jason in Pravachansar's commentary, Gatha number 239, named Tatparya Vritti, has given the definition of renunciation as under: desistance from attachment to the external and internal possessions, along with engrossment in one's own pure self, soul, is called renunciation. So there are two things here. One is the desistance. Desistance means discontinuance, stop, suspension. So desistance from attachment. Attachment is rag to the external and internal possessions, along with engrossment in one's own pure self. So one is from the negative side, another one is from the positive side. So first one is the negative and the next one is the positive. Engrossment in one's own pure self is called renunciation. This was the first. The second one is coming up. It is from Baras Anuvekha, Dwadas Anupreksha, and I think this is written by Kunkund Acharya Dev. Lord Jinendra has preached that the one who keeps one's thought activity, feelings, totally detached from the world, the body, and the sensual lust, pleasures, after renouncing attachment with all other non-self object, possesses the religion of renunciation, tyag dharma. So this is more or less the same meaning. The third one, in Tatvarth Rajvartik, Sri Akalank Dev has said that giving up of attachment with living things, namely wife, children, servants, cow, etc., called Sachetna Parigraha. Because these are all living things, so it is called Sachetna Parigraha. And non-living things like field, house, silver, gold, etc., called Achetna Parigraha, is called renunciation. So from the above mentioned statements, all the three definitions, it is clear that although the word renunciation is desistance oriented and it includes renunciation of both the external and the internal possessions, yet in the religion of renunciation, tyag dharma, engrossment in the pure soul, that is Shuddhopyog, and Shuddh Parinati, pure passionless manifestation of the self, are also included. The next page, page number 125, the fourth definition. This is the reason why real renouncement takes place only in the self soul. Okay, means only in ourself. That is the realm of one's knowledge, and not in or the of the non-self things. Acharya Kunkundev has given this very interpretation in Samaysar as follows. The discriminative knowledge of the self leads to the discarding of all alien disposition. Okay, so discriminative knowledge is Bhed Vigyan. Bhed Vigyan of the self leads to the discarding of all alien dispositions, knowing them to be entirely foreign to the nature of the self. So discriminative knowledge is between always two things. One is the self and the other is all alien disposition, which are everything that is other than the self is all non-self. Okay. So the discrimination is between the self and the non-self. So this discrimination happens where? It is in the knowledge itself. Okay. Therefore, in reality, this discriminative knowledge of the self, okay, should be known as pratyakhyan. Pratyakhyan means tyag, renunciation or tyag. Okay. So everything is on the knowledge. In the knowledge itself, you presumed in the first place that this is mine. And now, with the correct understanding of the fundamentals and the nature of substances, now you know in your knowledge only that these are all non-self. These are all different from the self. Okay. So once you know that it is different from the self, that means you have done renunciation of that. Because in the knowledge only you have believed that those are mine. And now you have corrected your knowledge. And now you know that these are not mine. These are different from me. And so renunciation is also done in this descriptive knowledge only. The descriptive knowledge of the self leads to the, this one we have done it. The next paragraph. Sorry, I forgot to put the phone on silent. The next paragraph. Tyag actually takes place in the realm of knowledge only. That is, relinquishing the sense of attachment with all alien dispositions. Okay. Knowing them to be entirely foreign to the nature of the self. So there are two things only. One is self, and all other things other than the self is non-self. Acharya Amritchandra Dev has examined this thing in Atmakhyati commentary on Samaysar Gatha 35. The previous one was 34, and now this is the commentary of Acharya Amritchandra Dev on Gatha number 35. The next two paragraphs are from there only. Darshit ji, you only read those two paragraphs. Yeah.
Okay, Jai Jinendra. A person, due to ignorance, having brought one other's cloth from washerman's house, treating it as his own, is sleeping by putting it on, and is, of his own, ignorant about the reality. But when the other person, the real owner, catching one end of the cloth, pulls it off, makes him uncovered, and tells, "You, please get up quickly, be attentive. This cloth of mine has got exchanged. This is mine, hence give it to me." Then he, having listened to this repeatedly, told sentence, ascertains by all distinguishing features that certainly this cloth is of some other person only. Thus, having attained the discriminative knowledge, he immediately forsakes that cloth. Similarly, the knowing self, too, having accepted the properties of foreign substances due to ignorance, knowing them as his own, is them with the self, soul, and is becoming ignorant of his own accord. When the revered and enlightened Acharya, having discriminated the self from alien dispositions, makes him understand the true nature of the conscious self and admonishes, "Thou awake quickly, be attentive. Thine, this soul, is in reality the embodiment of knowledge, Nana only." Then he, having listened to this continuously, repeated Agama Vakya, Jina's preachings, and ascertaining by all distinguishing features that these various emotional features of the empirical self are the alien dispositions only. Thus, having attained the discriminative knowledge, immediately forsakes all alien dispositions.
Next
From
paragraph
the
also. Yeah.
Okay, from the above statement, this point becomes quite clear that renouncement, tyag, is as in not self. In dan, donation, is given of that very thing which is possessed by oneself. The foreign substance, paravastu, can be renounced but cannot be donated. Picking someone other's thing and giving it to some other person is not donation, but is theft. Similarly, renouncement is done by knowing a thing as unuseful and disadvantageous, but donation is giving of the useful and advantageous things with the intention of help.
Bus.
Okay.
So, so you know now the definition of renunciation very clearly, what comes under renunciation, and there is a little bit of introduction of donation also in this paragraph. Okay. So dan is given of that very thing which is possessed by oneself. Okay. The foreign substance parvastu cannot be renounced, but cannot be donated. Can be renounced, but cannot be donated. Picking someone other's thing and giving it to some other person is not donation, but is theft. So now we come to the definition of donation. Okay. So next paragraph only. One difference we already can make out from here is that renouncement is done by knowing a thing as unuseful and disadvantageous, but donation is given of the useful and advantageous things. Now we will come to the definition of donation. So there are two definitions given here, and we will see a little bit about donations after these two definitions are read with. Okay. So Aditi ji Shah, you read the two definitions.
Donation, that is charity, is the giving of one's wealth, etc., to another person for mutual benefit. Acharya Pujapad has written in Sarvartha Siddhi, "Let the other needy person be benefited with this auspicious feeling to donate one's useful thing is donation. In Dan, the feeling of others' benefit is important and one's own benefit is not prominent. But in Tyag, one's own benefit is everything. Delusion, attachment, aversion are not given up for others' sake or benefit. It is a different thing that by getting inspiration from one's own renunciation or due to any other reason, the other person may also get benefited.
That much only. Yeah. So you see in Tatvat Sutra, it's written here Anugraharth. Anugrah means development of the self and the non-self. Swa or par ke kalyan, that is called anugrah, and for the sake of that, to give one's own material or thing, that is called renunciation, and that is actually a donation. Okay. So donation is charity. That is, charity is the giving of one's wealth to another person for mutual benefit. So what are these mutual benefit? When somebody gives a donation to somebody, some others, okay? What is the benefit that the donator is deriving from? Can you guess what it could be? You have to think
The
a bit.
joy of giving.
Joy of giving is one. The main.
And also aparigraha. We are
Yeah, that is
keeping
true.
things that we want.
Yeah, right. Parigrah badhana nahi chahiye. So that is also good. The main point is that you are giving up your greed. Okay. So somebody you must have seen in your practical life that somebody was very miser. Okay. But then he starts donating and his miserness goes away. Yeah. So when he thinks that anyways I have to donate, then why not spend, you know, not very extravagantly, but still what is required to be spent has to be spent. So by giving a donation, a person reduces his attachment to greed. Okay. So that is the benefit. That is the benefit the donor is getting. And the receiver is also benefited because he was in need actually. And somebody has donated. So he is also being benefited. So that is why it is called mutual benefit. It is not one way, but a mutual benefit. And later on, there will be a discussion that whom you should donate. So only those patra jeev are eligible for donation. So you have to search for those kind of people who are actually worth giving donation to. In our scriptures, there are 3 categories mentioned. One is avirat samyak drashti, means woeless right believer. Okay. The second one is the monk, Muniraj. Okay. And the third one is Arjika, the she monk. Okay. Woman monk. So these 3 are the topmost person eligible for donation. Okay. And if you give donation who are not eligible, then you are not even getting the punya karma. You are not binding the auspicious karma also. So it is your responsibility that whom you should donate, and if you are not finding it, you have to search for it. And that is why the receiver is greater than the donor. Okay. So these things will come later on. So this was the first. The second one was the same, more or less the same meaning. Okay. Now we move on to page number 127. If someone gives donation, it is also his duty to take care of the cause for which the donation is given. Okay. So it is also the responsibility of the donor to see where the whatever he has donated has been put to right use. Okay. Examples, somebody may donate some money for the construction of a temple, and the trustees use it for their meeting room by putting ACs and other luxurious product. So then it is a misuse. Okay. So it is the responsibility of the donor to keep track of his donation. In fact, big donors like Azim Premji and Bill Gates, they have a full-fledged team who is tracking this kind of donations, and they check it that whatever they are donating is getting the right use. It is getting to the right person, okay? And the right persons are being benefited. So nowadays, I think there is an MBA in philanthropy also. People are now trained to how to manage this philanthropy activity. Even Ambani, Mukesh Ji Ambani also has a very big team who are looking for this. And now the government has also initiated CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility, where the corporates are where the corporates have to compulsory donate a fixed amount of money from their net profit, fixed percentage. So they also undertake so many social benefit schemes, and so everywhere there are professionals who look where the best money can be invested, what would be a good use of our money, and these are all done in a very professional manner. So in our religion also, people do misuse donation. So we should see that whatever be the purpose, it is being used for those purpose. Generally, we give donations for building up a new mandir, where people are there, mumukshus are there, but they don't have a mandir to go for darshan. So that is given the most priority, because nobody should be deprived of a darshan. And not only in India, in abroad also, where there are, say, maybe 8, 10, 12 mumukshus house are there, they do plan to have a temple of their own. Initially, they bring Pratima from some other temple and start celebrating Das Lakshan Dharma. And then as the people join their group, they plan for making up a Jin Mandir. And when they make up, all the other people from whole of India and even people living abroad, they all donate very generously to build up that temple. So that is one of the most priority, because if a temple is built, that Pratima is going to benefit not only this generation, but many years, you know. So that forming a Jin Mandir is a very noble cause. In fact, it is the best your money can be used. The next is Dharamshala also for staying along with the mandir. There is a Dharamshala. In most of the small cities, these Dharamshalas are there. So where the guest can come and stay there. Then there is another need of Swadhyay Bhavan. So many mandirs are small, so they don't have a Swadhyay Bhavan. So that is also very important. So people do give donations very generously for all these purposes. One gentleman is there, Dr. Modi in USA. He's a Jain, but maybe 4 years ago, he gave 100 crores of rupees, means Indian rupees, there in USA, to bring up chairs of Jainism in few universities. So now Jainism is being taught in many universities across the world, and all those are being sponsored by, co-sponsored by Jain community and the college. So half of the money is given by the Jain community and the other half is given by the college trustees, and with that fund they appoint a teacher on Jainism, and that's how people are now studying Jainism. Even foreigners are also studying Jainism. Recently my son went to UK in London, SOS college, and There were all PhD scholars around 2025, and all were non-Jains, all were foreigners, in fact. So that was very surprising. So there are many people across the globe who are studying Jainism, although they may not be Jains. And so now Jainism is spreading, and it is the need of the hour. The three basic principles of ahimsa, aparigraha, and one more is anekant. Okay, ahimsa is non-violence, and aparigraha is parigraha is possession, and aparigraha is non-possession. And the third one is anekant, multifaceted reality. So these are the main three principles of Jainism, and a lot of research is being done on this. And in fact, my son is going to University of Birmingham for 3 years to do research on Jainism. So that is a full-time job, I suppose. And but his job is to do research on Jainism only. So going forward, this is going to be more popular in the short term, but how many takers will be there, that is a question. But still, at least people have realized that Jainism is a true religion, and they are doing their bits, whatever they could do in their capacity. So moving on to the next point, page number 127, second paragraph. They forget that the donor has not forced, sorry, not that second line. The donation is given with the idea of beneficence, public benefit. Hence, the desire of inquiring and knowing about the utilization does arise naturally in the mind of the wise donor also. Wise donor means the enlightened soul. Okay, those who have a right belief, they also keep a track of their donation, how it is used, and what is whether the purpose of donating is being served or not. And it is good also, even people who are managing those funds, they also become alert that they don't waste the money in any ways. So it is always good to keep a track. The next paragraph, the donor has not given up the attachment for money or wealth. Had it been given up, why would then he be trying to earn 3 lakhs after donating 1 lakh? His effort for earning is continuing in full swing. From this, it is proved that donation is not being due to abandonment of attachment for money, but it is given with the desire of benefiting others. It is, of course, a different thing, that is greed passion has somewhat diminished. So that we discussed just now, that greed passion has somewhat diminished. And it is a very good tool, donation is a very good tool to reduce this greed passion. The next paragraph, even in the partial absence of delusion or attachment, the religion of renunciation, tyag dharma, gets manifested. This is the reason why the forsaker, renouncer, does not pay attention to what he has forsaken. Its remembrance should also not arise. If it arises, how could it be tyaga? It is said, no, neki kar kuve mein dal. So whatever you do good things for others, or you you donate, you should forget it, because you have donated it for the purpose that this is for the benefit of others, and you just want to reduce your greed. That's why you are donating. Even the thought of looking after the abundant things does not arise in him. So a true donor, okay, or an enlightenment soul who is a donor, he does not, even the thought of looking after the abundant things does not arise in him, because now he does not consider or know it as his own thing. And also he does not have attachment with it. Whatever may happen to the thing forsaken, he is unconcerned. What has he to do with it? Example, Chakravarti. You know, Chakravarti is the king of 6 divisions, and when he has got 96,000 wives and so many of soldiers and 60,000 sons, and he has got enormous wealth. But when he renounces all these things and become a monk, okay, he never looks back. He is not worried about the kingdom or the possessions or the his family members, nothing, because in the first place he has got rid of the attachment. So now attachment is not there. Even those people are there, it does not manifest attachments, any further attachments. Next page, page number 129, second line. When the other, par means non-self, is not at all of the self, swa, how to abandon it, and then, and that which cannot be given, how to give, donate, how to give or donate it. So what is different from you, that is par, is not at all of the self. And if it is not mine, how to abandon it? Okay, so no need to abandon it, because you already have made up your mind that this does not belong to me, and that's why you have done the renunciation. So now once you have renounced it, there is no looking back, because you don't believe it to be yours. And that which cannot be given, how to give or donate it? So which is something which is not to be given, how you can think of donating it? The next paragraph now, the second line. Dan is Vyavhar Dharma. That is, it is called religion conventionally. So Dan is Vyavhar Dharma, means it is from the conventional point of view, Dan is Vyavhar Dharma. And Tyag is Nischay Dharma, that is real true religion of the self. So now you know the exact relation between Dan and Tyag. Dan is Vyavhar Dharma and Tyag is Nischay Dharma. The next paragraph. Wealth, etc., non-self substances on which we have our possession from worldly angle, okay, are ours from Vyavhar point of view. Considering them as ours, donation is given. So donation is given of those things which we possess, okay. Donation cannot be given of something that we don't possess. So for donation, you need to have the wealth or the material that you want to donate in the first place. But for renunciation, it is not required, because renunciation is done from what already you have. Okay. So this is again a difference. The conclusion, the last 3 lines of that paragraph. Hence, it is truly said that having known para, par means non-self, as para, to give up the feeling of attachment with them is the real tyag. Okay, to give up the feeling of attachment. Rag ka tyag hi sacha tyag hai. That is the real tyag or renunciation. Next paragraph. On thinking deeply, we find that tyag is done of delusion, wrong belief, attachment, rag, and aversion, dvesh only. Okay. So what do we do in terms of renunciation? We renounce delusion, that is wrong belief, attachment, and aversions, because the other materials are quite different from us. It is not us, right? So it is quite different from us, but the feeling of attachment and aversion is there, and that is what we need to renounce. And of course, the first thing that we need to renounce is delusion. The other non-self things are automatically renounced as a consequence of renunciation of delusion, attachment, and aversion. So when the attachment is not there, the other material will also be not there. So we need to cut the connection from inside and not outside. Okay, by renouncing from outside will not help, but the real renouncement would be of delusion, attachment, and aversion. And for that, you don't require anything. You are independent just by understanding the few principles of Jainism. You can become a real renunciation. You can do the real renunciation. Those who are already in the renounced detached state, on account of this reason, only the omniscient Lord Jinnah is said to be an absolute renouncer of attachment and aversions. Okay, rag dvesh parityaga. So it is not aversion, it is aversion. D should be cut. It's a typing mistake. So this was all from this page. Now moving on to the next page, page number 130, first paragraph. From spiritual point of view, more rag dves are also par. Par means not self, that is foreign elements of the soul. Although they take birth in the self, soul, nevertheless they are not the intrinsic nature, characteristics of the self. Therefore, in metaphysics is adhyatmic shastro. Okay, and spiritual point of view is also adhyatmic drashti. Therefore, in metaphysics, those have also been stated as par. They are also put into that category of non-self. Okay, so this is one of the subtle Bhed Vigyan, the Bhed Vigyan from rag and dvesh, more rag dvesh. Okay, considering them as par, that is very important. The next paragraph, in between there is a line. This is the reason that it is the cause of bondage of punya. What? The donation. They are talking about the donation. Donation is the cause of bondage of punya, but it is not the cause of getting rid of bondage. Okay. So donation binds auspicious karma, but it does not get you rid of bondage. The person who, presuming it to be nischay dharma, consider it to be the cause of getting rid of bondage are mistaken. And along with them, those persons who are mistaken, who don't believe it even the cause of bondage of punya, who do not accept it even as vyavhar dharma. The next paragraph, tyag is done of bad things and dan or donation is done of good things. Next page. Many people understand tyag and dan as synonymous. This belief is totally wrong. Not only those two words are not synonymous, but to a certain extent, their traits are found to be contradictory to each other. If these two words were synonymous, now they are giving the logic of why they are not synonymous. If these two words were synonymous, synonymous means one word being used in place of another. You can easily replace. But these are the use of either word in place of the other one could be done easily. But when we use them as such, then the meaning gets changed totally. For example, dan is described as of four kinds. Okay. Ahar dan, gift of food. Aushadhi dan, gift of medicine. Gyan dan, gift of books, imparting of knowledge. Gyan dan is basically imparting of knowledge. And of course, from the conventional point of view, gift of books is also considered as Gyan dan. Gift of religious books, not books, but religious texts is also a Gyan dan. The fourth one is Abhay dan. Abhay dan means gift of shelter, protection from danger, attack. You know, sometimes the king is very happy. So there are always some people who are in jail. Okay. So then the king releases them as a mark of his celebrating some happy occasion. So that is Abhay dan. Okay. Protection from danger or attack or from confinement. Okay. Because when you are in confinement, you are always fearful. And to release your fearness, that is also called Abhay dan. Bhai is fear and Abhay is releasing from fear. Even sometimes people who have been awarded death sentence, they are also sometimes, the president has the power to change that decision. And sometimes they do get they do get this benefit. Now, if we make use of the word tyag, giving up, in place of the word dan, the whole thing becomes quite clear. And therefore, tyag is not dan. Are ahar dana, gift of food, and ahar tyag, giving up of food, one and the same thing? No, entirely different meaning. Okay, gift of food and giving up of food. Likewise, aushadhi dan, gift of medicine and giving of medicine, is again not one and the same thing. So this proves that the renunciation and dan are two different activities, and they are not synonymous. Next page, 132. In dan, minimum two parties are required. Third paragraph. One more thing needs clarification from there. In dan, minimum two parties are required, and object of gift connecting both the parties is also required. Okay. So donor of food, recipient of food, and the food. Three things are required. But in case of renunciation, Nothing is requirement. Nothing is required. Leave one paragraph and then come to the next paragraph. We are totally free for tyaga, that is for renouncing the objects and possessions. So we are totally free means the writer wants to convey here that we are totally independent of what we want to renounce. Okay, whatever the objects and the possessions that we have, we are independent of renouncing whatever we want. In that process, the object which we renounce, nobody is required to receive, and the object is also not required. So thus we see that dan is a dependent activity, whereas renunciation is wholly independent. The activity which cannot be accomplished without the company or help of others cannot be the true religion dharma. Therefore, donation is not also dharma. Now, moving on to the next page, page number 133, second paragraph. There are some objects of which relinquishment tyaga only is observed. Okay, so there are some things where you can only do renunciation. There are some things where you can only do donations, and there are some things where you can do donation also and renunciation also. Both can be done. So there are examples given. Okay, wife, parent, son, and attachment aversion can be given up, but this cannot be donated. Knowledge and shelter, protection from danger, attack. Okay, so knowledge means Gyan Dan and shelter is Abhay Dan, last two Dan, can be imparted as a gift, but these are not given up. Okay, and medicine, food, money, etc. can be given up as well as can be donated, given as gift. Second last paragraph. There are these two lines in Das Lakshan Pujan. Uttam tyag kaho jag sara, औषधि शास्त्र अभय आहारा, निश्चय राग द्वेष निर्वारे, ज्ञाता दोनों दान संभारे. Here above in the first line where the supreme tyag dharma has been described. Okay, uttam tyag, supreme tyag dharma or supreme renunciation has been described as most beneficial. Most beneficial. There at along with it, 4 categories of the same have also been enumerated. Aushadhi, medicine; Shastra, scriptures or knowledge, you can say. Abhay, Abhay is the same, to release from the fear. And the last one is Ahar, Ahardan, food. Okay. Where the supreme, which are actually 4 kinds of dan, gifts, giving of gifts, which have already been discussed in detail. And the second line, Nischay Rag Dvesh. Okay, the last line, it is very clearly written in the second line that Nischay Tyag is to relinquish attachment and aversion. Nischay Rag Dvesh Nirvare, relinquish attachment and aversion. Gyata Dono Dan Sambhare. Gyata Dono Dan Sambhare means an enlightened soul takes control of both Nischay Dan and Vyavhar Dan. So, Dono Dan Sambhare. So, Nischay donation and Vyavhar donation. The wise person takes care of both. Okay. Now page number 135. The third paragraph, we not only do not understand the true characteristics of Tyaga, but also do not understand the true characteristics of Dan. In this money-oriented era, money has become everything. Wherever there would be any talk about Dan and donors, the affluent person will only be looking for. The modern age considers as donors only those persons who donate money. They alone are given the title of Danvira, brave donor. No donor of food, medicine, or knowledge would be found with the title of Danveer. Now, next page, page number 136. Food should not be given to unworthy persons. Okay, you should that we already discussed. The next page. Yeah. Page number 139. The donation given with vicious feelings cannot be called dan. Charity is given cheerfully with virtuous feelings. Then leave 2 paragraphs.
So no,
Charity,
only virtuous means good, vicious means bad.
yeah.
So it is correct.
Yeah, it is correct. Donation chanda given with vicious feelings. Vicious feeling means bad intention. Okay. Bad intention means you are donating it for the sake of getting fame, name, respect. Okay. If that is your purpose, then it is bad. Then it is not a good dan. Charity given cheerfully. Okay. With virtuous feelings. Okay. You should be very enthusiastic and you should feel happy about giving something. Then only it is a auspicious binding. And if you give with this object of getting name, fame and all, then in fact you are not binding even punya. You are binding inauspicious karmas. Then leaving 1 paragraph, charity given without begging is of the highest grade also. Dan given on begging is somewhat better than not giving, but giving under pressure or compulsion with uncheerfulness cannot be called dan. So if somebody is coming you, asking from you something, and if you are capable, you should give. Okay. And if you are able to give to somebody without him asking for, then it is the highest kind of donation. The last paragraph of page number 140, the householder Sravakas who have attained partial right conduct along with right belief and knowledge must necessarily give charity as per their capacity to the worthy recipients. Worthy recipients is true believers, because without charity their life is not worth living. It is fruitless. Okay. In one place it is given that if you are not in one place it is written that in Sravak Dharma Prakash, it is written that a householder person who is earning, he must keep aside minimum 10% of his net profit, and that should be donated. And if it is a medium kind of person, then he will be keeping aside 15%. And if it is of the highest level, then he should keep 25% aside, and then rest he can spend on him. So 25% should be compulsory donated. And if somebody is earning very high and not giving donation in this proportion, then they are worse than the crows. Even crows also, if they find something to eat, they call their fellow crows, cow, 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 and they ask everybody to come and have it, So if you are not donating in spite of having the capacity, then you are not worth crow also. Now coming to the last page, number 143, second paragraph. One who has got everything is called the king, Raja, and the one who has nothing, who does not keep anything with himself, who does not desire anything, is called the great king, emperor, Maharaja. So one who does not keep anything is greater than the king, even the king. So our monks are called the Maharaja. You must have read some many a place, Maharaj, Maharaj, Maharaj. So the monks are called as Maharaj. In the world, more honor and respect is given to the renouncers, Tyagis, in comparison to the donors. This is as it should be, because Tyag is a passionless, pure activity of the soul, and Dan an auspicious, virtuous act. Tyag is dharma and Dan is punya. So we have covered most of the difference, but still I have 11 differences written in Hindi, okay? And I will be taking a snap of this and sharing you in the group, but this is all in Hindi. If you are able to understand, then it is nice. If you are not able to understand, then do ask me personally any of the things which you don't understand. Most of it is all very easy, and we have already covered in our discussions today. But still, if somebody finds it a bit difficult, then you are always welcome to ask me personally. Our time is over, so I'm not taking it up, but I'm anyway sharing it. And these are only done it point-wise only. Rest, we have all covered all the points, I think. I'm looking at it, and I think we have covered all the things. So anyway, now for tomorrow, which will be our last class in this session, I'm not sure I'll be able to take the class or not, because Panditji has come here from outside. I'm supposed to take them to Vile Parle Mandir for darshan. So in case if I'm going there, then I will not be taking up this class, but I'll be informing you in the morning itself by 11 o'clock, okay? But mostly I will try to avoid that. I will take them the next day, which day that day we are not having any classes. So mostly I will take them on the next day itself, that is Thursday, okay? So tomorrow is Wednesday, and probably we will have this class, last class, about Uttam Akinchan. Supreme what it is? Non-possession, I think, yeah. Supreme possessionlessness. Supreme possessionlessness. Okay. That is also a very long essay, but this one was also a very long essay. But I took out all the good points and I have highlighted those. And now if you check the difference also, you will see that most of we have covered. Okay. So similarly, I will be doing the same thing tomorrow also, in case we are going to have the class. And in case if we are not having class tomorrow, then I'll inform you by 11 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Darshit ji, you had asked some question I have forgotten to answer, but I'm going very hectic. Morning and evening I'm attending lectures are there, and the lecture does not start on time and does not end on time. So
No,
we
don't
plan it
worry.
out. But
Don't worry.
I will definitely give it answer when I'm really at mental peace, and
It's
we'll
okay.
discuss
It's
that.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है। 9 बार नौकार मंत्र गिनेंगे। जय जिनेन्द्र।